I'm Libby Gibson, Town Manager. Welcome to What's Going On in Town Government. We had a medium-ish meeting last night, got through a lot of different things.
I think we were trying to push it because of the Red Sox.
We were trying to push it because of the Red Sox, but we didn't push it quite hard enough because we didn't exactly get to our Red Sox game start, but we got early on. So we had a bunch of announcements. We started out with a bunch of announcements. It's Red Ribbon Week this week. So if you see the red ribbons around, that's what that means. And we had an ASAP, Alliance for Substance Abuse Prevention, board member at the meeting explaining what it's all about. Early voting. November 6th is election day, but if you wish to early vote, you may do so here in the town building this week and next week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 8 to 3:45. Wednesdays, well, there's only one more Wednesday now. It starts at 10 to 3:45. So come on in. Zoning Board of Appeals, next public hearing on Surfside Crossing, the 40B, is next Tuesday, October 30th, 4:30, high school. No select board meeting next week. It's Halloween. Also happens to be the 5th Wednesday, and the board typically does not meet the 5th Wednesday. 2019 annual town meeting warrant starts April 1st, 2019. Open now for citizen article submittals until November 19th. We had two announcements that were not on the agenda that came up after the agenda was issued. One of them has to do with a new text alert system that we have just gone live on. Right now it's set up only for emergencies. You need to subscribe to it. You can do that right on the town website, the subscription, registration, whatever you call it.
What's the purpose of this?
The purpose of this is to notify people in the event of an emergency. That's the initial purpose.
Yeah.
That's the main purpose. So if there was an emergency, I'm not even going to say what they are. You know what
Sure,
an emergency
of course.
is. But you got to sign up with your cell phone number to get the text alert. It says, we have to have the numbers in order to put you in the system. Over time, we will be having some other, so you'll be able to subscribe to the type of alert that you want to get. There's the emergency alert, the sort of standard alert, and then there will be things like town meeting, town elections, stuff like that.
Town info.
Town info.
Some town info?
Some town info. That's not
Like
here
Hazardous
just
Waste
yet.
Day.
Exactly. Thank you, Gino.
Yes.
I can't even think today because remember, it's Thursday and I can't think
No,
well
there's a
on
lot.
Thursdays.
It's a good idea. Who came up with that one?
Well,
Oh, yeah?
me. No. Of course I was thinking
is a
about
good
it, but
idea.
actually, where it's come up, here and there, and we do have a reverse 911 system, but this is just a little more, I guess, direct, kind of.
This is a good idea.
It came up during the January 4th sewer break, that would have been a good time to have had text alerts, to just let people know what was going on. So that's where it kind of started. Okay, the other big news is the town's bond rating. We got an upgrade in our bond rating from Moody's Bond Rating Agency, AAA. This is huge news. Okay, it's huge.
Why?
Because first of all, it's a prestigious sort of a financial recognition that your town is financially well managed. 15 towns in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts out of 351 have this designation. We are now one of them. There were 14, now there are 15. Moody's has not issued a AAA bond rating to anybody in Massachusetts since 2010. So there you go. Anyway, over time it will save the taxpayers money because we'll get a more favorable interest rate on our borrowings, things like that.
Well, that's if we have to spend money. We're not going to save people money.
Okay, Gino, if you're going to split hairs on it, yes.
You know me.
Yeah, I know.
I got to keep an eye on the community.
Very thrifty. Anyway, it's a big deal. So we talked about that, and the board members voted to basically publicly recognize everybody involved. Let's see. We also had, okay, so I'm just going over the main things on the agenda here. We had some additional discussion about our strategic plan. So the board, for the past about a little over a year now, has been working on a strategic plan. And we came to the end of it in the spring, not the end of it, but the end of the development of what they want to have in it. And we then engaged a consulting firm called the Novak Group to help us structure how we are going to implement the plan. It was very helpful to have a third party help us do that. So there was a bit of skepticism about that at the beginning, but in the end, everybody was glad that we did that. So, and this is a firm that's done this before, so it was really helpful to have that expertise. So the board basically affirmed its strategic plan and endorsed the implementation process.
What does that mean for people who hear that word, strategic plan? What is that? Some people are not going to understand what that is.
Okay, so the idea is that the board identifies the areas that it wants to focus most of its efforts on. That doesn't mean that other things won't get done, but it means that the main focus of resource allocation and policy decisions and things like that will be focused on these things. The focus areas are transportation, housing, and the environment. Each focus area has between 2 and 3 goals under it. I did not bring that with me, and I haven't 100% memorized them yet. I could, if I sat here long enough, I could tell them to you. But it's posted online right now. We posted it today, and so that's what it means.
And how far out are we looking?
This is about a 2 to 4 year plan right
Okay.
now, and it doesn't mean that we're not going to do other things. But if somebody comes in with a very significant project, it might mean we say we are focused on. We have identified these things as our main focus areas right now. We will take your item up when we next review our strategic plan, which they intend to do annually. So that was that. Okay, the board also had received a request a couple of months ago from Sachem's Path homeowners to waive their sewer privilege fees. This is a 40B, and all of the homes in this 40B are restricted to a certain income level. Long story short, the board, I think, was more or less considering the request, but without a change to their policy, they could not actually approve the request. So they modified their policy a bit to allow this type of request, and they approved the policy amendment, and they approved the request to waive the privilege fees.
Well, why did they feel like they needed that waived?
Well, I think mainly the reason was to encourage affordable housing. Now, everybody acknowledged that this particular development has already happened. The house is already built. People already bought them. However, if one of our town-wide goals is to increase and encourage affordable housing, the board wanted to support efforts to do that, and one of the support efforts they viewed as reducing or waiving certain types of fees to make it easier for people to afford housing here.
Okay, but didn't they already get a deal on the property?
Well, there was some discussion about that, yes. There has been quite a bit of town subsidy already for that particular development. So if you want to see the discussion, go watch the meeting online.
I see.
But yes, that was discussed. But in the end, they all voted this.
All of them did?
You know what, I didn't write down the
Okay,
vote. There
all
may
right.
have been a dissenter.
All right.
I think there might have been, for that reason.
Yeah,
There had already been a significant amount of town subsidy.
yeah.
Anyway, they ended up voting it. Okay, there was, the most discussion we had last night was probably about the 3 proposed roundabouts. And we had our engineers in to review the designs and what the preferred design is, and to take public comment. So there was quite a bit of public comment, and the end result of that whole situation was that the board said we basically endorse these, but we want the consultants to go back and look at the public comments that came up tonight, including safer pedestrian and bike access, as well as potential alternative routes in addition to the roundabouts. And so the roundabouts are these: 4 Corners, which is near the school, where the elm tree is, which will
Sure.
be saved.
Yeah.
No one's talking
Yeah.
about getting rid of the
No.
elm tree. Surfside Road in Bartlett, and Old South and Fairgrounds. Those are the 3 areas. So there were a number of comments made, and most of those will be taken into consideration.
You know, I was there.
Yes, right.
I found it a little arduous, the presentation.
It was a bit arduous. It was.
You know,
I'm not
I have
going
a
to disagree.
recommendation, Libby.
Yes.
What they ought to do is, they know the numbers, don't they? I mean, they're transportation people.
The
They know how
numbers
much. Well,
of
they know
the
how much
traffic and things, yeah.
At peak times, they know
Yes.
what those.
Yep.
They should animate. They should create some sort of an
Oh,
animation.
yeah, that would be cool. That would be, yeah.
Because then people can actually visually see how this rotary is going to work at
Yes.
its peak time.
Yes.
You can throw in some bicycles.
Yeah.
Okay?
I agree. I like that idea, Gino. And
Thank you.
also, for example, one of the comments was people speed up when they get to a roundabout. The consultants say actually that is not the case in reality. And so you think about this when you're going in the, say, the Mid-Island roundabout. I thought about it last night on my way home as I was going through it. You actually slow down when you go in there. Now, if no one is around at all, maybe you don't totally slow down, but you kind of physically have to slow down because of the configuration to get in and out, which is one of the whole safety aspects of a roundabout.
Exactly, and I go through there all the time. One other point is to keep the pedestrian lines very well
Marked and laid out.
Right
yes.
now, they're a little fading.
Yeah.
They should be marked because it reminds you that, hey, this is a pedestrian area.
Yes. It's not just cars through there.
Right. It forces your mind to say, hey, I got to watch for people here.
Yes. So there's going to be more discussion about this. We also got an update on our paid parking potential program. Not potential. It's going to happen. But we're working on summer of 2020 for this, and right now we are looking at the type of system to use for paid parking. Kiosk, sticker, license plate reader, whatever. We're looking at all this. And
it's coming, Libby?
The board has voted to do it.
So does that mean that anybody that parks their car anywhere in the downtown area?
Well, there will be a delineated area, probably the downtown core, with perhaps something else in the 2-hour zone, which is the residential parking area. But essentially, yes, you'd pay to park downtown. But so typically there'd be some amount of time when you get there that's free.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe 2 hours, something like
okay,
that.
okay.
I don't know yet.
Even if it's
Don't
an
latch
hour.
on to 2 hours. But yeah, I was thinking more like 3, but that's just me.
That's a lot.
I know. Anyway, there's more to come on that also. And then the board had its own kind of comments. No meeting next week, I remembered. The town administration office, town manager, well, me, but I have a lot of help with this. We issue a monthly, try to get it monthly, e-newsletter. It's coming out next week. If you're not already subscribed to it, think about going on the town website and subscribing. We try to get a lot of information in here about what's going on in town government, what's coming up in town government, and there's lots of other little interesting side information.
Ooh.
Sometimes I mention stuff that you might want to know about.
A little enticement factor.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm trying to think if there's any. We have like a trivia kind of a thing at the end of it.
What can you win?
Prestige and community recognition.
Okay, all right.
That's what you win. People, you answer the questions correctly, and when you walk around town, people say, "She got that."
Do you play any of the trivia games that come on every day?
No, I don't. I was playing. What's it called?
HQ?
Trivia Crack.
There's one
for a while.
HQ.
Yeah, I haven't really played that.
right.
One of my kids seems to play it, but
Yeah, okay.
I think somebody in the town was playing it.
Be
But
nice
I
to do
don't
one of those for the town. Remember?
Would it?
I don't know.
No, that's a lot of work.
That's too much
Sounds
work.
like too much
Sure.
work. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. Thanks very much. See you next time.